Hi, everyone. Today, my name is Dr. Viola Pierce. I am the Nurse Nurturer and the CEO and the founder of the Nurse Nurturer and VP Nursing. And we are here today to talk about health, because we all need health during these times of COVID for sure. And so I'm the CEO and the founder, and our goal is to equip healthcare providers to be spiritually and physically fit, financially stable, and able to lead with integrity, to decrease error at the bedside, but not only that, for us to lead full, empowered lives. That's the biggest goal. And so we have a healthcare conference that's coming up. It's going to be August the 7th from 7:30 until 5:30. It is going to be amazing. It's going to be on a virtual platform to keep everyone healthy. You can go to www.vpnursing.com to register. So today we have Miss Brenda Singer. So Miss Singer, she has been a nurse for 36 years with a ride away. You don't look like you've been a nurse for 36 years. But anyway, a wide array of clinical experiences ranging from L&D, which, hallelujah, there's somebody to do that, to ICU, to many things in between. She has proudly served as an Air Force officer and aeromedical evacuation flight nurse, caring for our troops during Operation Desert Storm. She has a master's degree in nursing education, and she is currently teaching and mentoring students at a local community college. She also has a passion for empowering people to take back their health and make better choices for their long-term health and well-being. So thank you for joining us. It's going to be an amazing talk. I can't wait.
My pleasure, Viola. My pleasure.
So, Miss Singer is a vegan. Am I correct about that?
Yes, I typically say plant-based because I think that term vegan kind of sets people off a little bit sometimes. It has some other connotations that don't sometimes sit well. So I typically say I'm plant-based. So yeah, but basically I avoid most animal products.
Gotcha. Yeah. Now, why did you decide to go plant-based?
Well, I think, we're all on a food journey, right? I mean, our diets change, given the seasons. And several years ago, it's probably 5 or 6 years ago now, my dad unfortunately died from prostate cancer, colon cancer. And I have a very large family history, family tree of cancer. Every aunt that I have on both sides of the family has some form of cancer.
Oh, wow.
So, I said, what the heck is going on here? I mean, I get that genetics might play a role, but, I think probably environment and the toxins we're exposed to, as well as the food that we eat, probably plays into that picture as well. So I started doing some research, and I, sort of stumbled across that, I didn't really learn very much about nutrition when I was in nursing school. And a lot has changed in the field over the last 36 years. And I sort of find out that the research supports that, eating less animals, eating more plants is kind of the way to go if you're, looking towards your long-term health. So it's been a journey. It's been a process. I didn't give up, meat overnight, but, over time, you don't miss it after a while. So, yeah.
Well, that's good. Yeah. I didn't really like nutrition whenever I was in nursing school. Of course, I was about 110 pounds soaking wet in nursing school. And so I didn't really, I wasn't interested in anything, anything nutrition. I was like, it's going to be okay. Until I gained about 30 pounds. And I was like, well, maybe I should have paid attention in that class.
Well, when you're 20, you're invincible. So, yeah, you're never going to get old or heavy or whatever. Yeah. Yeah.
So tell me, what is the difference? And I guess the difference between being vegan, vegetarian, and plant-based.
Okay. So strict vegans don't eat any animal products. So no meat, no fish, no dairy, no honey even, if you're really strict vegan. A vegetarian typically, and there's different types, but most vegetarians will eat cheese, dairy products, some pescatarians, will eat fish, but they're basically not eating chicken, meat, pork, those kinds of things. They're not eating, meat, quote unquote. And then your plant-based folks, Could be anywhere on that spectrum, but primarily plant-based means that probably 80–90% of your diet is plants. And they might have an occasional, piece of meat or an occasional piece of fish, maybe special occasion or something like that. So when people say they're plant-based, generally they're heavy on the plants, minimal animal products kind of a thing. So that's kind of the general rule from my understanding.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I guess when you're plant-based, are there any deficiencies that you may experience?
Sure. Well, obviously, if you're not eating any meat, the most common vitamin that they talk about is vitamin B12. And I just actually listened to a whole 30-minute lecture on this by Dr. Michael Greger. But even people who eat meat can be deficient in B12 as they age. So, if you're concerned, you can talk to your doctor. But most people, like I've been taking a B12 supplement for at least the last 5 years. So I just want to make sure that my B12 is okay. I don't want to get into a situation where it's low. And it's just a tablet you chew, every day. It's not a big deal. And the other thing, if you're truly, vegan and you're not eating like any fish, and maybe you struggle to get enough like flaxseed, chia seeds, hemp seeds in your diet, you do have to maybe worry a little bit about your omega-3s. So I take a plant-based omega-3 capsule. So it kind of skips the middle fish and goes straight to the algae and gets the omegas from the source. Yeah. So it's a lot cleaner. There's no, PCPs and mercury, which you have with the fish oil. So a lot of people aren't aware that the fish oils carry a certain amount of risk in taking fish oil, so they don't realize that that's a concern. So if you can choose a plant-based option for your omega, whether you're vegan or not vegan. Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting. That is very interesting.
Yeah, and it's not sustainable either. In this day and age, a lot of people are worried about, the environment and being sustainable. You taking a fish oil it's really not sustainable, and killing all those fish for the oil. I mean, and if you ever saw how they did it, that's a whole nother topic. It's kind of gross.
Wow. Have you ever experienced like literally, I feel like I'm jumping out of my skin sometimes whenever I take B12. Have you ever experienced that?
No, I haven't had any issues. No. So, but it could be that if you're eating meat and getting enough B12, that maybe you don't need a supplement.
Gotcha.
So, you could, B12 is actually, they say it's really not a vitamin. It has to do with microorganisms, and, you're getting those microorganisms from the animal. But if you're not eating the animal, most of our produce is washed and cleaned, so we're not eating dirt anymore. Years ago, we were eating a lot of dirt. So, that's kind of why you need the B12.
Okay. All right. Now, are there certain disease processes that being vegan would not be healthy?
Honestly, I mean, you can always talk to your physician for specific, questions about something that you might have personally. But honestly, there's nothing that fruits and vegetables are going to hurt. I can't think of a single disease process that eating more plants isn't going to be neutral or not make it better. I really can't think of anything. And I was just talking with someone the other day about the amount of kidney disease, that we have in this country right now. And people don't really talk about that a lot. But, when we eat a lot of animal protein, it's very hard on our kidneys. And so, a lot of people who are facing renal issues later in life, they would be well served to minimize the meat and focus on the plants. And if you, as a nurse, know anybody who's on dialysis or considering it, what do they tell them not to eat? Too much protein, right? They got to really cut down on their protein.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So they need a cleaner protein.
Yes, you are so right about that. Because there are so many people, number of people that are on dialysis. It's almost unreal.
Yeah, and to think that it might be preventable based on your long-term diet, and to me, it's a crime that we're not educating the public more on the importance for so many risk factors for heart disease and diabetes, that they really need to minimize the amount of cholesterol that they get from animal products. A lot of people also don't realize that the new research out on diabetes, they think sugar causes diabetes, the general public does, but that's not the cause of diabetes. The cause of diabetes is fat in the diet. It gums up the works, and then it becomes a disease of carbohydrate metabolism and insulin. So it's not the sugar that causes the diabetes. The cause is the saturated fat in your diet.
Wow.
And that is well documented in literature now over the last, 10, 15 years. So the public doesn't know that. Who's talking to them about that?
Nobody.
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 Nobody's talking about that. And it's well, I shouldn't say nobody. There are many physicians out there now that are talking about it. If anybody's interested, you can, Google Dr. Katz, Dr. Furman, Dr. McDougall, Dr. Campbell, Dr. Esselstyn, Dr. Bernard. I mean, there are a lot of people out there doing great work on these things. So the research is out there if you choose to check it out.
Today is my son's birthday. I have to get a shout out. He's 17 years old. He's my baby. And he decided to go, yesterday was a year that he has been completely plant-based.
Yay, that's great.
Yes. And he's super, he's a little bitty boy, so he's super thin.
Okay.
I am so proud of him. So, because when he first said, I'm going to be vegan, I was like, yeah, that's going to
what am I going to do? Yeah.
I was like,
yeah,
that's about 2 days.
Yeah.
6 months in, I was like, wow, look at you working it out.
Why did he choose to do that? Is he an ethical vegan or is he doing it for health reasons?
For health reasons.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
People enter the space in different ways, so.
And that's what he had to explain to me because I didn't realize that there were two different. He was like, I'm not doing it because, of killing animals, that ethical, right? He's doing it because I want to live a very long time. Okay. I'm feeling that.
I like it.
I want him to live a very long time too.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, how does being plant-based affect your mental health?
Well, broadly, I think I don't know what to really say other than my mental health. I feel good about what I'm putting in my body, and I feel good that now that I'm not sort of harming animals. To me, it's a lot. The ethical piece about not harming animals is great. The other piece too is environmental. So I feel really good that when you're choosing plant-based, you're not contributing to the soil loss, the groundwater, contamination, the deforestation that's going on in the industry of, raising beef and cattle and chickens and so forth. And raising animal products that are going to be animal-based requires like 50 times more, land and water resources than the same number of calories you get from plants. So all those kind of things make me feel good that in one little small way, I'm with my voice, I'm saying I care about those things. That may not be for everybody's choice, but if everybody went plant-based 1 day a week or 2 days a week, oh my gosh, we would make a huge impact.
That's right.
Huge impact environmentally. So, I feel great, but, I'm sure, obviously mental health issues are, complex. So I can't say that,
For general
my positive attitude and my energy, is all related to, eating plant-based, but I like to think that it is, or plays a role anyway.
Yeah. And one of the things that is, that, I tell people as it relates to their health to, just like you said, 1 meal a day, just eat completely plant-based.
Right. You don't have to go crazy and commit to the whole thing. Nobody rarely does that. Right. It's a journey. It's a process. Yeah.
And most people, the reason why they do that, because I listen to a lot of Tabitha Brown, and she is amazing. And she's vegan. And she said that the reason why she went plant-based was because of the fact that she does not, she had this bad headache in the back of her head. So I think that unless you have that reasoning, all the time, then sometimes it's very hard. But I personally, at least 2 of my meals out of a day, period, is plant-based. There's
a great cookbook out there. I forget the gentleman's name, but it's called Vegan After 6 or Vegan Before 6 or something like that. But he eats his morning meals completely vegan, and then at night he has a small piece of meat or fish or whatever. And I think also too, if you're someone who says, well, I'm not giving up meat, try to make the meat, not the center of the plate. Try to make the meat an accompaniment to the rest of your plate. Even on our government's website, the myplate.org. Now, I don't know if you've seen that recently from the USDA. They're even saying half of your plate needs to be fruits and vegetables 3 times a day at every meal. So you really need to make plants the center of the plate, and then the meat, an accompaniment, a flavoring, a little added, but not the center.
Right. That's good. That's good advice. People always say that they have a hard time getting their protein being plant-based. What are some ready sources that you can think of?
Well, that's a misnomer, first off. So a lot of people don't realize that there's protein in everything, and there's protein in plants. So we really only need to have about 5 to 10% of our calories coming from protein. Pregnant women, athletes may be on the higher end of that spectrum, maybe a little bit more, but your leafy greens actually have protein. So your kale, broccoli, bok choy have close to 35% protein. Who knew, right? Spinach, a whopping 51%.
Oh, wow.
White mushrooms, those little white mushrooms that I happen to actually love. And I always think, well, really, are they any good for me? 57% protein.
What?
In the white mushroom. And how cheap are those? You can get those for less than $2 at the grocery store easily. Some days they're even on sale for 99 cents. Black beans, lentils, of course, the things people think about, your tofu and those kinds of things. Those are generally around 25% protein. So, there's plenty of protein. And so they say, 50 to 60 grams of protein a day for the average 2,000 calorie diet person. You can get all of that eating plant-based. So, if you're concerned, obviously add in more beans, add in more lentils, tofu, quinoa, all those things have, protein in them. So if you're concerned, do that. So
now, do you eat tofu?
I do. It took me a while to kind of like it. It wasn't like, it really wasn't a thing that I went, oh, tofu. My mother used to, no, my mother never gave us tofu. But it takes on the flavor of like what you're cooking. So if you're using a broth or you make a sauce or something, if you can kind of soak it in it for a little longer, it takes on that flavor. So there's different ways to prepare it. And there's plenty of stuff on the web, if you really are interested in looking it up. But you don't have to have tofu. As I just said, there's plenty of protein in other things. So if tofu is not your gig, then you don't have to worry about that.
My son, he loves P.F. Chang's, and they have a tofu recipe or
dish
there.
Yeah.
And I can't deal with it's the texture of it that I struggle.
Kind of mushy. Is it too mushy for you?
Mushy.
Yeah.
Like, I can't.
Yeah.
And so
it's kind of like a banana, maybe. Or
it's
fry it
like that.
Yeah. It's some of it's mental. You know what I mean? Yeah, some of it's mental. I drink a really awesome shake that has a soy, protein in it, and it's phenomenal.
Okay.
So there are other products out there. And the thing I would tell you, though, about soy, or if anybody's looking at tofu, soy, tempeh, I think it's really important to buy organic, because you want to make sure you're getting water washed, minimally processed soy. So you definitely want to be careful with the soy products that you're purchasing.
So what is tempeh?
Tempeh is like it's sort of like tofu, but it has, it's maybe a little bit firmer, and it almost looks like a rice cake to me in the package. Like it's got it looks like little dark grains and white grains in it, but it's a tofu. I mean, tempeh tofu, it's basic. It's a similar soy based product. Yeah.
Now I think that I probably could deal with that. But the regular very mushy, I probably can't
handle it. Yeah. Well, each their own. Yeah.
Now, what are some of your go-to meals?
Oh gosh, if I'm just doing something real quick, I mean, obviously any kind of soup or salad, phenomenal. I always have a big salad every day, and I love putting like roasted sweet potatoes or red potatoes in the bottom of my salad, or rice or quinoa to give it a little more body. I love experimenting now with Indian food, because a lot of Indian dishes, don't necessarily have meat, or that can be eliminated. So I always tell people, don't think about, if you're going to choose 1 day a week or 2 days a week to go meat free, don't think about what you're giving up. look at like all the great things you can explore and a new recipe you can try. And there might be something that you like that you never knew that you liked.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so look at it as an adventure, as something exciting to try, as opposed to, oh, I can't have my chicken today. You know what I mean? Just, yeah, you can have chicken tomorrow. Just try something new today.
Yeah, and that is truly, it's truly a mindset. It's a mindset journey for, you know, anybody, because, and it's your relationship with food. You know, we grew up, you know, having the meat, the starch, the vegetables, right? And
Right.
understanding that you just don't need that all the time, right? Understanding that, you know, because, and if you understand in a way, because like I used to have cereal for dinner, right? But instead of having cereal for dinner, I can have like, and I will do this a lot, is I'll have a shake, a green shake with some cauliflower, roasted cauliflower. It's amazing.
Oh, it's
Amazing.
delicious. Yeah. I
So
love roasted cauliflower. I have a great cauliflower soup too that would knock your socks off. It's terrific. And it's nothing but cauliflower and vegetable broth and some cashews. And you blend it and, you know, a little fennel seed on top. It's so good.
oh, we're gonna have to talk. We're gonna have to okay.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah.
Now, I guess we've talked about fake meat. Is that the same thing as tofu, or is it different?
No, tofu is soy. So
Okay.
that's not. So now on the market is kind of exciting, actually. There's a lot of companies, Beyond Meat, the Impossible Burger. People have heard about those because now Wendy's or whatever I think is carrying. I think it's the Impossible, but I'm not really 100%.
Well, it's Burger King carrying their Impossible Whopper.
The burger, I don't remember which one. But you know, I think that for a treat on occasion, I think that's fine. You know, I try to stay away from a lot of processed foods. I like to try to eat my foods in, you know, the way Mother Nature kind of made them. But I think if you're trying to transition, you know, from your regular burger, I think it's a great way to transition. I don't know that I'd have one every day, you know, but I do think, you know, if you can get people to sort of move towards the spectrum, coming over to the plant side, then I think it's a great alternative. Some of them, though, I will say, do have a lot of sodium. So if you're anybody who's got high blood pressure or whatever, you're concerned about sodium, do kind of check that out. You can get some frozen burgers that aren't necessarily fake meat, that are black beans and other things that have lower sodium. So you just have to kind of look at that if you have a, you know, a sodium issue. Yeah. But yeah, but it's kind of exciting. They really have come up with a lot of things now that taste like a chicken nugget that's plant-based, or a burger or whatever. So I don't do a lot of it, but I never really cared about meat. Even when I was a child, my mother would serve it. I'd have 2 or 3 pieces. I was not really something I was craving. So
well, I've always said that if it was not for a ribeye, that I would be completely vegan, right? Because I love veganism. I mean, I love a ribeye. But I do it. I still do it occasionally, but I don't do it nearly as much.
Yeah,
because I would have it literally every week, and I have it now maybe once every 3 months, if that.
Right, and have a smaller portion.
That's right.
You know, usually the first couple bites satisfies you. You don't have to eat a 12-ounce. Most people don't even know that like 3 ounces is what's considered a serving. You know, you know how they say the palm of your hand, we learned in nursing school, the palm of your hand, you know, is what should fit for your meat.
Uh-huh.
If you look at what's served in a restaurant, are they serving what's in the palm of your hand?
They're not.
They're not serving. Even if you wanted a fillet at a restaurant, I think the smallest usually they offer you is what? A 6?
At least 6.
6. So they're offering you double what the portion would be. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Now, do you ever miss meat?
Not really. The only thing that I occasionally think, if my family's going out for barbecue, I have to say, I've lived in North Carolina, I've lived in Texas, but honestly, it's probably more the barbecue sauce.
Right.
Not so much for me, but I like the barbecue sauce, probably because it has a lot of sugar in it. Yeah. So, I every now and again I think, oh, it'd be nice to have a rib or something. But then if I go to try to prepare it, and I do sometimes prepare meat because my husband is not, meat free, and my kids are not meat free. They've cut way back. But special occasions, I'm the oldest of 5. I'm usually hosting family, Thanksgiving and all that. I have to tell you now, it kind of grosses me out to like make the turkey or put pork in the crock pot or whatever. I'll do it, but once you don't eat meat for a while, the smell of the raw meat,
It really does.
it's
True.
not the best. Yeah. Better cooked. The smell is better cooked than raw, you trying to cook it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess that answers the next question. Everybody is not vegan in your house.
Oh, no. Yeah, no. Now, I have to say, I have influenced them, and we really, everybody has cut out like milk. I have one son who's kind of a holdout, and I'm working on him to try to, and I'm like, just choose an almond milk, soy milk, rice milk, oat milk. There's so many other choices now, which is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm trying to talk to him about, the cholesterol, the fat in the milk and the hormones in the milk. Milk from a cow was designed to take a cow to a baby calf to a cow in a couple of months. There is so much growth hormone and stuff in there. We do not need to be consuming that. I think we're the only species that consumes another species' milk. What's up with that?
Wow.
It does make sense to me when you really think about it.
Well,
there's certainly no animals that are consuming milk in adulthood. So you don't see cows getting milk from their fellow cow next to them, right? It's only the calves. Once they grow up, milk is done.
wow.
Right? Can you think of any animal that's drinking milk?
Nope.
As an adult animal?
Nope.
No. So there. Let go of the milk people.
You have such a wealth of knowledge. It has been such a pleasure talking to you.
Oh, thank you. My pleasure.
Excited that we've developed this relationship. So again, we're having our healthcare conference. It's going to be August the 7th from 7:30 until 5:30. It's going to be on a virtual platform to keep everybody safe. Go to www.vpnursing.com to register. It will. We have limited seating, even on the virtual platform. Because we can't have everybody on the call. So if you go ahead and get you registered, that'd be good.
Very exciting, Viola. That's wonderful service.
Yes. So you have an awesome day, Ms. Singer, and thank you for coming to join.
Well, thank you for having me. It was a pleasure talking to you.
All right.
All right.